Now, this is part one of the sermon, and I don't get to go through how we walk. The next few weeks, we're going to unpack that how. How do you really expect us to have a faith life? This morning, I think we need to camp out with a very simple statement. Life is uncertain. God is not. Maybe it's not for you that statement is for this morning. Maybe your life is incredibly certain. There are those around you that have a lot of questions in life. There are those here in our city that are hurting. In our families that are hurting. And they're asking us this question: can you guys really say that you're maintaining your faith? Not like one of those fake faiths. That one we heard about growing up. You know, we went to church and the pastor said, really, God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. But I saw my family fall apart. There's a lot of people out there living with that. We want to know, is it possible to have a real faith? A real, meaningful relationship with God in the midst of uncertainty? That's what they want to know. I cannot answer that question for you personally. But I would encourage you to challenge yourself. I tell you, the best way to do it is to go in. To look to see what God is saying. Recently, I was challenged with that very notion, and so I said, God, lead me to a place. Show me in your word. Teach me. And he rocked my world with a little obscure passage in 2 Kings. This is a passage I don't think I'd ever read before. It's kind of interesting when I first looked at it. But then I began to unpack it, and God began to open my eyes. And I just want to share it with you this morning, if that's okay. This is out of 2 Kings chapter 7. To give you a little bit of context, the nation of Israel was in a bad place. It was bad politically. They had a weak king. Didn't quite know what was going on. They were at war with the Arameans. And in fact, the Arameans had come and put their city under siege. So much so that there was famine in the city. People were dying. Life was not good. And God seemingly was nowhere to be. And in that environment, we find these 4 guys who had an even worse off life. Because not only were they living in that, but they had a disease that was killing them. And this is where we pick it up, 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 3. Now there were 4 men with leprosy sitting at the entrance of the city gates. These guys thought on him, why should we sit here waiting to die? We will starve if we stay here. We will starve if we go back into the city. So we might as well go out and surrender to the other army. If they let us live, so much the better. I mean, that's uncertainty, right? We can't live here, we can't live there. Probably going to die out there. Let's just go. If they kill us, we're going to die anyway. God uncertainty. So that evening, they went out to the camp of the Arameans, but no one was there. Probably could stop that point in the story. God, man, your hand is there, God. Good times. Yeah, God, here we go. Let's keep going because there's more here. For the Lord had caused the whole army, to hear the clatter of speeding chariots and the galloping of horses and the sounds of a great army approaching. And let me ask you this. When did they hear that? When those 4 guys were sitting back at the gate? No. It's when they were taking step, step, step. It was in that moment of most greatest uncertainty and certain death and certain failure that God was doing this incredible, incredible miracle. It was in their faithfulness to take a step that God was planning for their salvation. You wrap that for me. God, you're great. But there's more. I know, there's more. The king of Israel has hired the Hittites and the Egyptians to attack us, they cried out. That's the greatness of God. These 4 guys sounded like 2 armies. That's the power of God. And so they panicked and they fled into the night, abandoning their tents and horses and donkeys and everything else, and they fled for their lives. God is good. It's just like, wow. Who else? Who else would do that? could stop the story right there. And it's good. Encouraging. Take that home. Chew on it, please. There's more. There's more. When the lepers arrived at the edge of the camp, they went into one tent after another, eating, drinking wine, and carrying out silver and gold and clothing and hiding it. And they're hoarding. Man, life's uncertain. Gotta hide this stuff. Don't know what's going on. That's how our lives, right? Oh, something good. It's our lives. This is the verse that God challenged me with. Finally, they said to each other, this is not right. This is wonderful news, and we aren't sharing it with anyone. God very clearly spoke to my heart that morning when I first read this. He said, Steve, you are sitting on wonderful news, not sharing it with anyone. Why? If we wait until morning, some terrible calamity will surely fall upon us. And these are present times. They're always got their negative view, but they're right. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what next week will bring. The time to share the good news is now. The time to tell everyone, God is working in my life is now. That is the time. But God spoke very clearly into my heart that day. Steve, you need to share this. That is why our life groups have never been made. It's a time to look at one another. Say, you know what? God is doing this cool thing in my life. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. May die. But today, God is certain. Because across the table, there's going to be somebody else sitting here saying, there is a lot of uncertainty in my life. And I need a remembrance that God is certain when life is not. And that is why it is so important for us as a church to build this. A real community that leans on one another. That shares its stories of God's incredible faithfulness. Because through that, we will be able to build a faith as a church that can go out into the community, that can go out into the world and say, we've got the answer to the question of whether or not you can have a real, meaningful faith in the face of certain uncertainty. God challenged me recently with another story. The story of a man named Aaron Boyd. He's the guitarist and lead singer and writer for a band named Blue Tree. And Blue Tree is not your normal band. They're a rock band, but they're a worship rock band, and a lot of those. But even amongst the worship rock bands, they were a worship rock band that was called to be mission. God called them to go to the mission fields, not the comfortable platforms of churches to share the good news. To go out into the world where real people having real pain and real questions. And so they had been called to the mission field, and Aaron and his band had been called to Thailand. And they went into Thailand, and the city they came into was not a good place. We think Las Vegas is Sin City. It looks like paradise compared to this city. You see, this city was the world capital in human trade. There was incredible sexual slavery. There was incredible sin. And yes, incredible uncertainty in these people's lives. So Aaron and his band decided, let's not go to the church. No, they booked their set in the brothel down the street. And as they came in, they saw these women stolen from their houses, stolen from their families, living not knowing if they were going to live or die, not knowing what tonight would hold. And in this place, they began to share the love of God. And God began to speak onto the heart of Aaron Boyd. So this is what I want you to tell these people. I am God of this city. I am Lord of this nation. I am King of these people. I am God. And I'm not done with you. Because in a life living in uncertainty, God is God. Period. And that is where we got